When you're stressed with your finances and you're at work, sometimes it breaks my concentration. Even at home, sometimes I couldn't sleep at night. It was something that I kept to myself.
Just like most of the population, probably more than 50% of West Virginia, I live paycheck to paycheck too. The last thing I want to do as a 28-year-old adult with 3 children is call up someone and ask if I can borrow money.
Unless you're part of that elite 1%, I think we're all out here struggling.
I don't know anybody that doesn't live paycheck to paycheck.
We have this utopian view that everyone owns a house and 2 cars and the dog, and they have a good, steady job and all of the benefits that come with it, that they're diligently saving for retirement. Nothing could be further from the truth.
I don't think almost anybody in the population is aware of how many people live paycheck to paycheck, which is this number between 70 million to 100 million people. When I heard it for the first time, I was struck at how large it was.
About 40% of Americans couldn't come up with $400 in an emergency.
All the debates in America are level of salary, how much you're paid, structure of salary, how you're paid. And I said, but there's another thing that's going on here, which is timing or when you are paid. So if you work for 2 days or 3 days or 4 days, you're earning something every single day. However, that is going to be paid to you 2 weeks later. Giving them access to their earned wages is just the process of bringing them out from drowning.
Some people say a man is made out of mud.
And 16 tons is ingrained in my psyche. My mother used to play it. At that time, it was the melody and the lyrics. And now, 30, 40 years later, I didn't know that it had imprinted itself on me so hard that when I looked for purpose for my life, I found it here.
I owe my soul to the company store.
Welcome to the verge of earned wage access. Why is it called earned wage? It's actually EWA. I'm only taking money I've already earned.
The concept of time that Safwan Shah uses, not something that's really been studied on the academic side. So he's really a pioneer in thinking about these things.
Amartya Sen's Nobel Prize in Economics taught us that people die in famines not because of a lack of food, but because of a lack of delivery of food to where people need it the most. Hope came when I realized that there is this money that they've already earned, and it is stuck in the system. Here is the richest country in the world with amazing amount of money, but within that country, there is a huge mass of people who are, what I call the third world living in the belly of America, and it's only America that doesn't know about it. Here we have millions of people who are paying billions of dollars in fees for really small timing-related issues between paychecks. So you can easily calculate what amount of money is stuck in the system every 2 weeks. Turns out that number is close to $250 billion. Economic theory tells us that an economy benefits when money moves faster. What is needed is a change in the timing of pay. Is anybody thinking about it?
My paper, which was co-authored with Chris Parsons, The Timing of Pay, was the first theoretical work done on pay timing, why it should matter and how much it should matter. The more frequent your paychecks, the easier it is to plan. I mean, it's just that simple. Suppose I'm trying to decide, I'm at lunch and I can either get a $6 meal or an $8 meal. If you have a lot of money, that decision, it's not taxing. But if you don't have a lot of money, you need to figure out whether that $2 is going to be better used now for the better meal today, or whether it'll be more useful in case something pops up before the next paycheck, maybe in 2 or 3 weeks. That calculation has to be made all day, every day. Burglary, theft, robbery, they all spike really in the last week of every month. And that's not true for violent crimes. And so it's not like people suddenly become criminal at the end of the month. What's going on is that at the end of the month, people have run out of money and they're hungry. So if the pay is coming in as your consumption needs come in, it matches the timing of the decisions in a way that's much simpler.
So giving people that simple courtesy and kindness to say, you know, you've already earned this money, right? We don't need to be, as Safwan puts it very touchingly, we don't need to be borrowing money from our poorest employees. You know, how heartbreaking is that?
I'm always happy to see you.
It's definitely not a job you do for a paycheck.
I'm here with you all day today, okay?
I feel like it's something you're called to do. I try not to bring my stress to work, but, you know, still sometimes things are in the back of your mind. I make around $16 an hour. We can't afford daycare, so we work around each other's schedules. That means somebody's always at work. We haven't had a day off together in months. I've tried to get small loans before, and, you know, sometimes like you'll go online and try to get a $500 loan, and then when you see the terms and you end up having to pay back $4,000. And that's crazy to me.
People say I'm blessed, but I feel like I'm blessed because I'm able to help someone else. I have the grandkids. We do babysitting. We help out financially because my daughters, sometimes they run into financial situations. I make $18.50 an hour. Well, there's a lot of payday loan places up and down Boystown Road. I'm gonna go past the one that I normally go to. It looks like they're loaded up. Typically, I would borrow $300. Borrowing $300, I had to pay back $900. The percentage was 760% interest.
I know that our team members sometimes are forced to go to payday loans. In the state of Kentucky, unlike some others, there is no max on the amount of interest that can be charged by the payday loan folks.
I knew it was a bad deal, but at the time, that's all that I could do. It was hard. I felt, there was a time that I felt helpless. I mean, I really did.
There was times when I've had to do payday loans. It's an incredibly expensive, dirty feeling, violating process. And then you have to start making payments back. And then you realize I probably didn't really solve my problem at all. I may have even just created another problem.
I've never said that payday lenders are bad. I always correct people. You are bad for allowing them to exist and not innovate. That's what free market is. Reimagine the industry.
I am totally on board for anything that stops their business. We began wondering what's out there.
Mary Haynes is a unique CEO.
Thank you.
Disappointed.
You're awesome.
Mary's always got crazy ideas, but you know, we listen. Thinking that people could actually gain access to something before they're supposed to be paid sounds great, but something's gonna go wrong. Oh my gosh, we just sent out about $25,000. Well, then it became $40,000. And then when I saw last month, $80,000, it just took off immediately. It has been the most innovative benefit that I have offered to staff.
Tap out to the side. 1, 2, 3.
Roughly about $10 million of cash flow have been accelerated for our people through PayActiv.
I see you. Let's go already. Hype man is what they used to like to call me here.
We getting it.
Really, the backbone of our company are our agents.
Number, please.
Agents would, almost be in tears saying, I'm feeling forced to leave so I can get my paycheck so I can pay a bill. How crazy is that?
I will never forget this. Came home one time and electricity was off. Paid everything, at least this is what I thought I did, and life happened. And I was able to get that bill paid off. You don't have to give a reason as to why you need your money.
Our attrition has been cut almost in half. Of our U.S. agents, roughly about 85% of those are enrolled in the program. Of that 85%, almost 90% of those are users of it.
My research showed that employees who used the app were about 19 or 20% lower turnover than employees who didn't use it. We're talking for a big employer like Walmart, that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars to them.
The partial government shutdown is now 3 weeks old, and tomorrow it'll become the longest in U.S. history.
When the shutdown happened and when people started getting payday loans, they started missing their rent or mortgage payments. A lot of people were looking down their noses at these workers.
Increasingly desperate federal workers stage protests.
The first thing I would say is, lots of these people. They're in your family. I don't even want to use the word they because it's such a large fraction of our population living paycheck to paycheck. This is not, some tiny group of lowlifes that can't get their act together. This is just normal for most people on Earth.
Fundamentally, what you're seeing is pretty much all of the benefit of economic growth is going to the highest cohort, the 1% in particular, the 10%, and then very particularly to the ultra-wealthy, the top 1/10 of 1%.
So let me tell you something which may come as a big surprise to all of you. So when I was raising money for PayActiv, so one of the persons I went to had a $20 million a year salary. He was a CEO of a very large company and happens to be a friend. So I'm talking to him and he came out with something which I had no idea. If you're making more than $5 million a year, what is the cost of waiting to get paid? Calculate the interest on that 2-week period to Mr. CEO. So if he or she is deprived of that money, there's an additional cost of cash. So the company moves the money every single day to his private wealth manager. Very affluent CEOs are getting paid every day. Now comes the issue, why isn't everyone else? Because they're not worth it. That's a fact.
The people that don't need it have it, and the people that need it don't. That's sad.
Okay. I love you. I'm going to go check on the other ladies, okay?
It was really nice because actually the first time I used it, we needed gas. I had to go to work. He had to get to work. We can go home and enjoy each other and enjoy our daughter and not have to worry about the bills.
PayActiv actually helped me to pay off the payday loan that I had. My whole atmosphere and my whole demeanor when I come to work, I like coming to work.
That's my granddaddy.
No, not a granddaddy. They have little nicknames for me and I don't mind.
Anybody knows the Bible? Deuteronomy 24:15. Pay them their wages before the sun set because they might be hungry. 2,000 years ago, people had this common sense. I think part of the dilemma in the US is that we are not trying to tackle this problem in the ways of capitalism or conscious capitalism. If they need it and they have earned it, they should be able to access it.
This is just opening people's eyes to say, here's a problem, and the solution is quite simple.
There was a missing variable. This is a Newtonian moment. We found time as a variable. Use it everywhere.
It was revolutionary to think that somehow people could be paid more quickly than every week or every 2 weeks. And time always matters. There's a saying in the law, justice delayed is justice denied.
That's weak and a back that's strong. You load 16 tons.
All the weights off my back. All of it.
You get another day older and deeper.
There's now a ton of research on the effects of pay timing on things like mortality, health, nutrition, crime. It's not going to cure famines. I don't think it's going to reduce the national debt in any way. It's just going to make the lives of a lot of people better.
And once people realize something can be done that couldn't be done before, it raises the question of why shouldn't it be done?
A holistic financial wellness program will stop the drowning. And then once at a place of safety, the next process starts.
The more we can have people who are happy and thriving, the more our business will thrive.
You continue the story of understanding the dollar.